Welcome back to Invest Africa. Now, the Angolan economy has historically been focused on oil, but according to the Economist Intelligence Unit, the country started to diversify its economy by increasing its revenues from the non-oil sector and therefore increasing its pool as an attractive investment destination. Let's take a look.
Bringing companies that currently pay no taxes into the tax-paying network is one of the aims for promoting non-oil sectors and encouraging the activities of small and medium-sized companies. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit, around 1,000 new businesses were registered in the first 3 months of the year, creating nearly 7,000 jobs. However, the 2012 World Bank report on doing business ranked Angola 167th out of 183 economies on the ease of starting a business. This report highlighted just a few of the challenges faced in the country's business environment.
Very often what we say to corporates is partner up with someone on the ground, specifically because Angola is a Portuguese-speaking company and there might be difficulties in transacting most basically, and just the language barrier getting around it. So therefore we find that the operating environment is very specific to certain businesses, whereas well-established mining businesses, for example, who have been in Angola for quite a number of years, find it quite easy to operate. Bureaucracy, corruption, even some might say the administrative burden for other businesses looking to transact from Namibia or even from South Africa are finding it a slight bit more difficult.
Despite the effects of the global financial crisis, Angola's financial sector has continued to expand, with the banking sector dominating the financial system. And until now, foreign oil companies were allowed to hold revenue from Angolan operations in overseas banks, transferring foreign currency to the central bank to pay taxes and making only limited payments via Angolan banks. Angola's new foreign exchange policy for its oil sector will pump billions into its banking system, but will also pose questions around its transparency and technical readiness. Angola is a forward-looking nation with an economy that is growing at a constant rate due to its vast supply of natural resources. Understanding Angola's extremely diverse social and business culture can be challenging, and doing business in Angola successfully requires a sound understanding of this complex country. Dumisho Mahanyele, Johannesburg.
Still with me in studio, Jose Silva, Managing Partner, KPMG Angola, and Roger Ballard-Tremeer, the Honorary Chief Executive, South Africa Angola Chamber of Commerce. Now, we touched there in the introduction on corruption and the level of corruption. Does this differ, Jose, significantly from what we're faced with again in the rest of Africa?
I wouldn't say so. Obviously, the rankings are what they are, and they mean something, and they mean that, well, it's a complex country where bureaucracy and corruption exist, for sure. And, well, that means that one trying to invest in Angola must be more sure of the investment that is about to do, to find the right partner and to analyze in more detail the proposed investment. Taking care, managing the complexity is key to invest in any country in the world, and in Angola for sure it's also key.
Roger, when it comes to mining, Tamishu there saying that obviously given the fact that mining has been such an integral part of the Angolan economy, it's those companies that are established and operate with ease in territory.
Diamond mining might have been established for a long time, but we're talking now about mining beyond the diamonds. A new mining code was promulgated in September last year, and it's only now that the major mining houses are beginning to establish themselves and proceed along the road to mining things like iron ore, nickel, and aluminium, bauxite,
even gold,
and so on. Absolutely. So there's lots of action in that sector, and we're not talking about front-end loader stuff. This is serious mining. This is creating huge opportunities.
You're talking about deep-level mining here?
Well, not necessarily deep level. It could be open cast, but mining of the sorts of minerals that we know in other parts of Africa.
Tax reform on the agenda. This is an ongoing discussion point. Your thoughts in terms of where we are right now, Jose?
Yes. Well, basically, there is a major transformation that the Angolan government is introducing in the country, obviously to deal with the issues of the corruption and the bureaucracy and everything. So major reforms are taking place. There is a new foreign investment law since May 2011. There is the tax reform that all major taxes are going into significant reforms. We had consumption tax, stamp duty, corporate income tax will be the next one, and personal income tax. So major reforms on all the areas of the economy. Also the central bank issuing new regulation to the financial sector, basically to try to raise the legal background, the regulatory background of the
and
country.
And raise the standard even in the financial environment.
For the what I would call international standards. Everything that is being updated is being brought to international standards to facilitate the investments and to also raise the profile of Angola clearly.
The role of the South Africa-Angola Chamber of Commerce. Perhaps you can give us a little more colour on that front.
South Africa has the small bilateral chambers that focus on one country only. So we have a chamber with Nigeria and Angola and a couple of others. Because Angola is a challenging market, indeed an ultra-challenging market, business decided that it was necessary to have an entity that focused solely on that market. And that's what the South Africa-Angola Chamber does. We assist South Africans to go that way, and we assist Angolans to come this way. And in these last few weeks, we've had literally hundreds of Angolans approaching us and saying, well, where can we get this, where can we get that from South African suppliers? So
you've certainly seen a trend on the up when it comes to exchange of goods and services, people? Absolutely. Jose, coming back to what you're seeing in country, where do you see us 5 years from now when it comes to Angola and specifically Angolan-South African relations?
Well, I think it will improve significantly. Until now, it's much more the relations are with China, with Portugal for the language issues, but I do think that there is a trend for Angola and South Africa to come together in terms of business relations, and the current trend that we also see in KPMG is a massive number of South African companies studying the market, contacting KPMG and other consultancy firms to have a deep understanding of the business practices in the market, and trying to be there to achieve and to obtain part of that potential of growth of the economy.
If we talk about public-private partnerships and the role that they're going to have in the Angolan economy going forward, is this a key driver when it comes to the ease of doing business?
The Angolan government has a policy of encouraging public-private partnerships. Indeed, a law was recently passed providing a framework for this. For example, the 3 railways are now fully operational, and the private sector has been invited to participate in one way or another with making these railways contribute more productivity to the country.
What other African countries is Angola engaging in? You know, you mentioned obviously the likes of Portugal, and obviously from a language perspective, but when it comes to the continent, beyond South Africa, as we've spoken about the South Africa-Angola Chamber of Commerce, what other African countries is Angola engaging?
Oh, we see it coming from everywhere. We see it from Egypt to East Africa, Kenya. We see it from Nigeria. We see it clearly from South Africa. So I think from all the regions in Africa, and the internal transactions within African countries are also growing significantly, and Angola is a key destination for all these countries. So we see it coming from the north, the east, and the south, coming from all places. Yeah.
You've spoken about the services sector, agriculture. What about health? What are we seeing? Are we seeing the pharmaceutical companies moving in a large way? You've got a population of around 17 million in Angola and around 7 million, I believe, in Luanda itself.
Yes, it's close to 7 million, 6 something, yeah. Well, the pharmaceutical, I think it's not yet there. The challenge in the healthcare industry is tremendous, but I would say that it's still to come significantly into the market, that trend of healthcare players coming into the market. It's also significant infrastructures to be still built in the country in terms of hospitals
So beyond talking about health, what about telecommunications? How far down the track are we? You were speaking, Roger, about how pleased you are with what has unfolded on the infrastructure front. Telecommunications, what are we seeing there?
Angola Telecom has rolled out fiber optic cables virtually across the entire country. So landlines are vastly improved. The two mobile phone operators have just announced that they're moving to 4G. So very soon Angola will be ahead of most other countries in Africa.
In terms of wireless, broadband?
In terms of communication, internet, in all 18 provinces, wherever I've been able to go along to an internet cafe and access the internet without any trouble at all.
And that, of course, should give the economy a great boost if communication infrastructure is ahead of the game.
Yeah, it's a key infrastructure, the telecoms, and well, much has been done. I think still some significant investments that will be able to reduce the price. It still comes with a significant cost today in Angola, the telecoms and specifically the internet. But I think that with the investments that have been made and that will come to in the next few years, there is a space not only for an improvement in terms of the quality of the service, but also to a certain extent to reduce the cost, and with that obviously helping to spread the benefits for the entire economy.